So this is my organization, Heroes for All. I'm running, this organization is both in USA and in Bangladesh. And I would like to thank Glenn for connecting me with the Rotary Club. So thank you so much. And also I have Coach Jim Johnson, who has been my mentor. And he has been one of the board of directors from the very beginning of Heroes for All. So here this is my organization, and if you want to know a little bit more about it, you can visit the website. So it's heroesforall.org. And we are, I believe that we are not in this world alone. And I personally see myself as a global citizen because I studied in Bangladesh. I did my master's in Netherlands, Wageningen University, and then I came to USA. And now I'm a part of United States of America. So I feel that I'm a global citizen and we can do so much when we work together. One of the things is if we do not see how we can help the future generation to grow up as a complete human being, the future might be bleak for us. So few of the things that we observed is lack of play, both in Bangladesh and in USA. Kids are becoming more digitalized, and you can see that lack of play is creating a lack of communication skills. So they do not even have the skill to communicate often. Another thing is burdened with a lot of books and classwork, so the burdened childhood, depression. Young people are suffering from a lot of depression nowadays, prisoners of technology. Terrorism is also another huge thing when, especially in different countries like developing societies where they feel that they don't belong, sometimes groups that they're giving them a sense that, oh, you belong here. Many young people are getting involved in terrorism. So that is why I'm looking into like how I can pull those young people out of those negativities. And gang violence, both in Rochester and also in Bangladesh. Those were some of the problems that I identified as a group. But amidst this chaos and uncertainty, there are stories of hopes and dreams, courage and valor, persistence and perseverance, kindness and care. So those things are all around us. So instead of focusing on the negativity through my organization, I want to bring out the positivity of the human being and then motivate people and inspire people to be part of this huge world. And this is why to plant the seeds of dreams, imagination, creativity, values and empathy, love and respect, we started in 2015, Heroes for All. So it was a group of people, and you can see Coach Jim Johnson here. So he was one of our speakers for the leadership session. I am promoting leadership through the different volunteer experience all over in Bangladesh and also in USA. And here, a group of students, it was a class project. I asked them to identify some problems and start a nonprofit organization from scratch. And these amazing young people, they identified the problem and they made all those articles of incorporation. And in 2017, we officially became incorporated as a 501c3 at New York, stay under the New York State. And in 2018, my organization became Heroes for All Bangladesh. There was another local branch. So the head office is in New York and the local branch is in Bangladesh. We were incorporated by the government as well. And after that, the journey started and we gave birth to Heroes for All. And I wanted to have this title, Warriors of Change, because I wanted, as a person, I wanted to solve so many problems, but I knew that I cannot solve all the problems by myself and I need to create heroes from everybody. So if each individual, I believe that every young people and every human being has a potential. So if we can tap into their potential and provide them the right environment to grow their potential instead of following the crowd, they can become their own heroes and then they can become heroes for all. So from there, this idea of Heroes for All emerged. And some of our mission statement for Heroes for All, to build the youth of the world as morally responsible and informed global citizens who would rise up to their fullest potential through active civic engagement, skill development trainings, cross-cultural collaborative initiatives, and making positive life choices towards a purposeful life. And often we see that often the students who graduated, they graduated, but they still could not fathom like what are they going to do with their life. Even while learning, they don't know how to learn. So they're just learning to get the grades, but not how to influence others to make a difference. So I wanted them to find out a purpose through their own potential. And I think once you align your skill with your purpose, that is when you don't feel depressed anymore. You don't feel anxious. You feel that you are totally in that zone. So those were few of my focus based on which I started the mission. And here some of our values for our organization: establishing greater moral ethical standards. Some of the things that I'm observing is the ethics and morality. Our schools are not teaching those areas enough. They're teaching science, they're teaching maths and English and all those things, but not enough of moral and ethical standards. So I think the future generation, when we also overcome this pandemic, we need to face the world in a new way. So morality, responsibility, understanding each other, awareness on national and global issues. We are no longer an island. Bangladesh is not only Bangladesh, USA is not only US. If anything happens in Bangladesh, it has impact in USA also. And if anything happens in USA, it impacts the whole world. So there is that interlink, and we are all connected with each other. So that's why awareness of global issues is important. Positive life choices, when to say no, resilience. If problem arises, how to cope up with the problems. So those are also some skills that we are providing through knowledge sessions in different schools and colleges, and also to different institutions. And sense of community, that is very important. We need to have that sense of community where intergenerational communication is happening. We are trying to develop a program with retirees. Even if somebody is retired in Bangladesh, often it is perceived that, oh, you're retired, you're now just a burden. You cannot add any value to the society anymore. And often among the male individuals, retirees, there is a higher level of depression and different diseases. So I'm now developing a mentorship program where retirees can be connected to young people and help them, because there is so much wisdom. Just because you're retired, that doesn't mean that you don't have any value to the society. You have so much wisdom, and it is also my cultural aspect. As you grow old, you attain more wisdom and you can share it with the young people. So that's why we want to build a sense of community and globally self-aware individuals. So those are some of our core values. And these are some different levels where we are working. So at individual level, we are working on developing different workshops, knowledge sessions on positive identity, life and career skills, leadership and communication, research and analytical skill building. So it's not just seeing things and not analyzing, but having that critical mindset. At community levels, different social setting, different social and ethical standards, civic awareness, conscious citizenship. What is our responsibility as a citizen? So for now, voting is one of the things that we should be focusing on and promoting. Neighborhood connectivity. And often nowadays we have seen that earlier it was neighborhood block parties and things like that. But now slowly the neighborhood has become so much disconnected. So in Bangladesh, we started this project as a pilot project as neighborhood party, block party. And it was highly successful. There are talent shows, people are coming to the stage and open mic session and songs, dances, so many things happening. And it created that neighborhood connectivity. Those people who never knew their neighbors started to know each other. And when you create that space, that is when young people can really appreciate and they feel that they belong to this community. So it's so important for the community actions. And at global level, cross-cultural understanding, international mentorship. So I'm going to just give you some examples of what we have done already. So here, some of the impacts we have already made through my this 2 short years journey of my nonprofit. So in Bangladesh, we have started educational program. We raised enough fund to build a school in the outskirts of the capital city, catering the need to the underprivileged children and the ready-made workers, the children of the ready-made garments industry workers. So often they don't have the proper education and not the education to speak English. So here we are trying to promote a human curriculum that will focus on 4 C's: community, creativity, critical thinking, and also communication. So English will be focused there, and that is where the American students or those who are interested to provide mentorship through Zoom, we are going to have multimedia room. And through COVID, one of the positive things happened that you are no longer limited to one place. You can teach some students in Bangladesh, you can teach English to students in Bangladesh, just sitting down in your living room. Provide some skills, learning, fun activities, discussion sessions, career counseling. So everything can be possible through virtually nowadays. So education, developing the education system. So our school is going to, hopefully, if the government allows, then we are going to start it from 2021, January. So that's when the school session, and we are going to start from kindergarten and grade 1. That will be the first section. And we are going to, it's a small group of students, not more than 30. And we are going to have a pilot project observing how we can change this group of students. And they can be involved in the community also. Cleaning, climate change, planting trees. So all those hygiene, we are going to have all those elements in the education. We have already developed camps for kids with visually impairment. So in 2018, we had a Camp Ability USA. We collaborated with Camp Ability USA and had the first of its kind camp in Bangladesh, where children with visual impairment, for the first time, they knew how to play sports. They were playing soccer, they were playing cricket, they were playing basketball, and they never thought that they could do that. And we had 3 experts from USA. We took them to Bangladesh. It was an airlines. Qatar Airways gave free ticket to the US experts, so we flew them to Bangladesh. And it was an amazing session where even the national sports heroes came to play with the kids. And the whole media covered it. And after that, we found out earlier the kids with disabilities in Bangladesh were observed as burden of the society. Oh, they cannot do anything. But suddenly there were television channels organizing programs for children with visual impairment. There was the first cricket team for blind female cricket players with the 5 kids who participated in the camp. They took part in that. They started that national blind cricket team in Bangladesh. So all those things were happening, and people were focusing like, no, when you give that space to everybody, they can rise to their potential. So we are hoping to have a virtual camp this December. So with Lauren Lieberman, she is the Camp Ability USS director. So she did some experimental virtual camp with South Africa, and it worked perfectly. So that is what we are planning on, to have a virtual camp with the kids in Bangladesh. And we could have camp counselors from USA virtually helping them out in Bangladesh. So leadership camp is another thing. And mentorship and apprenticeship, those things are also working. We have doctors, we have graphic designers who are helping young people to guide them to those careers. So we are opening a website where through our website where anyone with their skill can be mentors. So if you want to be a mentor with Heroes for All, we are going to have a process, and through that young people can be connected to you. You can just sit down in Zoom and talk to them how they're doing and have a positive influence in their lives. So that is one of the things. And also another thing that we are planning to have for 2021, if you have an organization who would like to take apprentice from high school students, they can work in a bank for 7 days or 1 month, get a feel of that career, if they want to go follow that career or not. For me personally, when after graduation, I worked in a bank for 4 months, but I immediately knew that that is not my cup of tea. So it is important to know even what you don't want. If you don't experience it early on, then you might be stuck to the profession forever. That is not going to make you happy. So one of the thing is you have to enjoy what you're doing. And that is why I decided to quit my job as a full-time tenured faculty and start my own nonprofit, because I think I can give more to the society in this way, instead of being in that academic institutional setting. And also through community engagement during this COVID-19 crisis, Bangladesh was also under lockdown. And through globalgiving.org, many of my American friends, families, they supported a global COVID relief program to help teachers, middle income group who cannot go or beg for food, and we don't have that social system, so social support system. So we identified 3,000 plus families and provided 1 week food supplies for those families all across Bangladesh through the support of globalgiving.org. And so these are some programs that we have done. And in Rochester, we have organized cross-cultural experiences for teachers and students, because nowadays, more than ever, we have found out that we need to overcome our stereotypes and biases of different culture. Today, you're working here. Tomorrow, you might be teaching at a school in Bangladesh or doing business with Bangladeshis. So how to have an open mind to work with international individuals. And also you can see that how their mind just open up. I paired 30 students from my college with 30 students in Bangladesh for 1 semester, talking about worldview, coming up with projects together. And at the end, both groups, they were all hesitant, like, oh, we don't know how the Bangladeshis are going to react, what are their views. The Bangladeshis were having those wrong stereotypes on Americans. Oh, it's all about drugs and sex, because that's what they see in media. But once those kids linked together, they saw that it's all biases and stereotypes, and we are all same. And they have formed friendship. They're inviting each other to their country. So this was a huge change that was happening to those 60 students. So I thought that why not have this in different schools? So schools, we are planning to have like a workshop for teachers in November. With Brockport School District, even I'm trying to link up with the Greece School District, where teachers in Rochester can be linked with teachers in Bangladesh, talk about their experiences, how they're coping with COVID-19, how the education system is changing, and share each other's knowledge, and create also assignments that can have those cross-cultural element to it. So the students, even from the high school, from primary school, they can have the platform to know about another culture, appreciate different culture, and who knows, they can be leaders in the future, and that can change their mindset totally. So we have organized those cross-cultural experiences. We invited leaders from both countries, the mayor of Brockport, there were top CEOs from Bangladesh, and at Brockport campus, we had this cross-cultural televised program on discussing about leadership in both countries. So at the end, again, everybody found out that the problems we face are similar. It is not, we are not world apart. We all experience the same things. We might look different, we might have different religion, but in the core, we are all same. So that I think that could be a very strong educational factor and learning factor for the future generation who are going to be leaders. Workshops on positive mindset, we organized in the Rochester inner city. We have organized workshops on emotional intelligence. Because my focus is on positive mindset and emotional intelligence. So I provided those sessions, and the young people, they came up to me and said that we never saw ourselves in this way. So in a growth mindsets, and they had a shift among themselves also. So we are continuing with those process and working with the youth counseling, Rochester's Youth Council to develop these programs. Mentoring is also another program with the Rochester young youth. So these are some of the impacts that we have made till now. And just a little bit pictures of what we have done. So these are Women in Leadership. This was a cross-cultural program with Rochester, Brockport, and Bangladesh, all the on women leadership. And it was televised in national television channels in Bangladesh. So many of the television channels want to have these kind of programs, collaborative programs that can be aired in those countries. These are youth programs. And during the COVID, we had these online virtual sessions where participants from both countries, young people from both countries took part. And during this time, BLM, Black Lives Matter, many in Bangladesh, many young peoples were not aware of this thing happening. So we invited Mr. Dwayne Williams. He's a counseling ed student, graduate student, who talked about this experiences, what's happening in USA. Accessibility and Inclusive Society for All, Dr. Lauren Lieberman, we invited her to talk about why inclusivity is important, so that in Bangladesh we can promote these ideas and wholesome leadership. So these were some of the programs we did recently. And during COVID, this is Bangladesh. This is the map of Bangladesh, and these are the food distribution program, which we continued till July 31st. So this is the map of May 20, but we did more of those. And this is Heroes for All supporting shelter for young orphan girls in Bangladesh, providing all those equipments so that they can study virtually, daily meals for the street children for 2 weeks. So these are all in the rural areas, the COVID program, COVID food relief for individuals with disabilities in Bangladesh. So we ran all these programs. These are some programs we did in the past. The winter is coming, and sadly in Bangladesh, there are so many poor people who cannot afford warm clothes. So we had a winter clothes distribution program. We went to the rural Bangladesh and talked about positive mindset and growth mindset, so the young people know how to be resilient. And this was in 15+ knowledge sessions in school and universities. And these are our ongoing projects. The school that we are building outside Bangladesh. And we are also having a donor tree. So whoever have that donate in any ways, we are going to acknowledge the organization and the donors through the donor tree in the school. And again, this is going to be a different school with no exams. So we are going to focus on how to build a good human being who is conscious about the world. So that would be our curriculum, focusing on the 4C. This is some pictures from the Camp Abilities Bangladesh in 2018, and this is he's the Tom Brady of Bangladesh. So the national superstar in sports. So he came and everything, like this was so inspiring. And once these both stars were there, the media and the government is also paying attention to the cause of providing inclusive environment for the children. And this was a Neighborhood Connect Fest in 2019, December, where the US Ambassador Mr. Eric Mueller, he was present, he inaugurated. Because he inaugurated the Neighborhood Fest. We had art, we had yoga session, and this is the mayor of our capital city, Dhaka, and the ambassador of USA in Bangladesh. Both were playing chess. So we had street chess, all those street games and everything going on. So this was also another program to connect the neighborhood. And finally, I just wanted to show like our national advisors.
I unmuted this.
So Dr. Priya Banerjee, Coach Jen Johnson, Ivana, she is a life coach. She's now in Australia. Sabrina, she is from Harvard University. She moved to Harvard. So they are in our planning committee developing programs. And this is my team in Bangladesh, and we have started recruiting young people from Rochester inner city to be part of our Heroes for All team in New York.